Developed and published by Nintendo and released on February 21st in 1986, The Legend of Zelda on the NES kicked off the now epic Legend of Zelda franchise. Prior to this review, I actually had never beaten a Zelda game. This is blasphemy, I know. But growing up, I preferred my RPG experience to be that of the turn-based style rather than the action RPG style that Zelda employs. But now having played through and beaten it, I could say that I truly understand the hype behind this great game. Our story starts off in the small kingdom of Hyrule. The Prince of Darkness himself, Ganon, has come in, stole the Triforce of Power in an attempt to take control of everything. While searching for the Triforce of Wisdom, Princess Zelda manages to break it up and scatter it across the dungeons throughout the land of Hyrule. The princess is then captured by Ganon, and she sends out for her nursemaid Impa to try to save the kingdom. Of course, that's thwarted, and it's time for you, or Link, to step in and reassemble the Triforce of Wisdom to take down Ganon and rescue the Princess Zelda. Whew! The Legend of Zelda is an overhead action RPG / action adventure game. Throughout your playthrough, you are to search for hidden dungeons, items, and item shops to aid you along in your quest of recovering all the pieces of the Triforce. Exploration and trial and error is the name of the game. Hints are given out sporadically as to the locations of some of the items, dungeons, and dungeon boss strategies, but ultimately it's going to take some searching and maybe a bit of luck to locate everything that you need. The open-world nature of Legend of Zelda is not only great for exploration, but you can also forge your own path and don't necessarily have to beat things in the same way as everyone else. Items and upgrades that you'll find during your adventure consist of swords, shields, a boomerang, bombs, bows and arrows, potions, and so on. Many of these items are not only helpful, but essential when it comes to reaching or conquering dungeons and their bosses. I found myself utilizing the boomerang and bombs the most out of my secondary items, as they proved to be incredibly helpful in stunning enemies, gathering long-range item drops, or blowing open secret dungeon passages, in the bomb's case, of course. The graphics and sound in Legend of Zelda are iconic. When you see or hear anything from this game, you instantly know what it's from if you're a fan of video games. The animations are smooth and the tunes are memorable. The controls are also tight. It may take a small bit of time to get used to how all your special items and attacks work, but when you do, you'll be lying to yourself if you're blaming the game mechanics on your death. Ultimately, I found out firsthand why The Legend of Zelda has so much hype around it. It's a great game. At times it can be a little dated and a little cryptic as far as some hidden locations. In fact, I would advise to have a guide or a map handy if you need some help finding your way. But at its core, The Legend of Zelda kicks ass when it comes to gameplay, and its in-depth yet simplistic style draws you back every time until you finally complete this masterpiece. Which, I also must add that you can play the second quest upon your first playthrough of Zelda, giving you an even more challenging expedition if you choose to do so. I give The Legend of Zelda a 9 out of 10. If you too haven't played it yet, do so now.